All right, hello everybody. Happy Friday, January 13th. Happy birthday to my sister today. She doesn't watch the show, but happy birthday anyway. It's Friday. You know what? I'm retracting my previous statement that Thursday is the best show. I think Friday is the best show. It's a Friday, and I was able to sort of future pace and imagine myself in a Friday version of me, and I'm happier than I expected to be when I did that exercise. So I think Friday is better than Thursday. I know, shocking opinion. All right, adding Doug here. Now let's see what he's got in store. What kind of funny, goofy dance he's going to do. This time, we'll be sure to check in on his pull-up situation. There he is, and he's doing a wavy thing in front of his face.
What
What's
was
that one,
the?
Doug? Miming?
Isn't there like a touchdown
Okay. I don't know.
celebration thing where it's like
Is that a new
I
thing?
don't,
Most
I
of
don't
those
know.
touchdown things are derived from TikTok now.
Oh,
So
really?
if it's that, then it's probably a social media viral hit.
Did you see the one where it looked like the guy made it look like the ball was stuck to his glove?
No, I didn't. Is that recent?
Yeah, it kind of went viral recently. He made it look like he had glue on his glove. He couldn't get the ball to drop, and he took off his glove, and I don't know. It was really clever because it looked really like he couldn't get the ball off of his glove, and so he was cheating, but of course he wasn't.
Right. Okay. That is clever. Very nice. I was like the old the Terrell Owens, the sharp. He had the Sharpie in the sock, and when he made the touchdown, he took it out and signed the ball. just like the biggest jerk in football. I just like that. Anyway, how's it going, Doug? Friday. I said earlier that I think Friday is better than Thursday. I've decided it. It's just I don't know what I was thinking when I said Thursday. It might be better.
You're probably right.
How could you say anything else? I mean, especially Friday before a 3-day weekend, you don't get too many of those.
And today
we've got one.
And today was 2-hour delay for us because of some snow flurries that didn't really amount to anything. But we had a 2-hour delay this morning, and my family, talking about sleep here, no one woke up before 8 o'clock, which is very weird. Like, I don't set an alarm. I don't do anything. We all just slept until 8, which was fantastic.
That is really nice. It's very, very nice. Always like a nice 2-hour delay snow day when you have kids. It's just good feeling. Fun times. Steven says American football celebrations seem underwhelming because you can't see their faces. You know, I have that problem. And I think people in general have that problem with hockey. Like those people are relatively faceless while they play. I feel like when someone's playing football, you see their faces on and off because when they get on the sidelines, they take it off. But you're right. During the celebration, you don't always see their faces. So that's a good point. I've never actually thought about that when it comes to football.
I hadn't either.
But good point, Steven. American football, I should say. All right, Doug. So here's what I want to know. People are dying to know this, at least in my house. What immediate and massive action was taken after we got off yesterday regarding the pull-up challenge?
When you say people in your house, do you mean just you? Are you trying to put me on the spot again?
No, me and Aaron, we had a chat about it. We wondered what you did. We did a little Googling ourselves, see if we could find the extra wide pull-up bar for you, an option for that, or an adjustable one.
I appreciate that. So there was some immediate action taken.
Okay.
No purchases though. I will say that.
Okay. It's okay.
But so I found one that just is like a pressure bar.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I just can't imagine that I can trust it enough to feel good about it.
Yeah.
The other problem, and so then I was like, what I could do is just build one, buy some brackets and then
right, like somebody suggested, right? Didn't Drew Designs or somebody suggest that yesterday?
If they may have, I didn't understand if they.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Oh, now that's exactly what they were saying. Now I'm understanding what he's saying. So if I did that, that's good too. But then I was thinking, if you do the pull up, you're gonna hit the top of the door frame, right? Because that's inside the door frame, whereas the other ones that that hook onto the door frame are outside.
You're right, and so that'd be a big problem. You'd be really having to go hold your legs really high up to.
Right, and drop pretty far down, and then you'd also have to I guess you could take it out if you had one that you could just snap in. You could take it out, but otherwise you'd have to bend over to get through the door.
Yeah.
So here was the immediate action. Talk to Katie about installing one in the office. Like a permanent one that would bolt into the wall, and then we just have to patch it if we ever wanted to remove it from the wall.
Yeah, no reason to think that far ahead. You're not going to remove it from the wall. You're putting it into your place, and it's there. It's the new normal for you. There's no removing it. It comes with the house when you sell the house. People will be happy to have a little fitness area out there. I think that's kind of what I concluded, because you want to be able to do a dead hang. You don't want to be able to have to hold your feet backwards behind you. Because when you do a really pull up, you want your core to be all straight planked. Your feet are basically in front of you a little bit.
Right.
And you can't do that under a door frame very easily at all.
Right.
And so if you're serious about it, you need to get one. And I think you should install one of your own. Rogue has like a small one. It's like kind of small profile, and it's only like, I don't know, 10 inches out from the wall.
Okay. I mean, we have plenty of room in this office. I'm not so concerned about this sticking out. I just, don't want to have to like do all the patching of the wall and stuff like that if we ever wanted to remove it and use this space as something different. But I think that's the way to go. I think that's the only way to go, honestly, to be successful here. And so that's probably what we're gonna do.
I like it. Good. See, that's a commitment. Well, I mean, once you do it, because then you've got the thing, and you're gonna want to use it just because it's there. I think that's a great decision. Now, Rogue has really good ones, nice ones, but I'm sure you can find much cheaper if you're looking for a budget option. Okay. But the one I have is Rogue, and it's been great.
Do you do it facing the wall or not facing the wall?
I do it facing the wall. When I try to do hanging leg raises, I face out the other way because I couldn't get my legs, obviously wouldn't reach.
Okay.
Or would.
Well, thanks for pressuring me here a little bit more. Yesterday, you said you were going to check in a couple weeks, so I'm caught a little off guard that you're checking in less than 24 hours later.
I want results in a couple weeks. I'm going to check and see what you're, how many you're at now and how it's going. I want to make sure you get started.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Well, good.
All right. Steven wants to know if we're going to talk about femininity today for balance. I thought we were talking about both yesterday. I thought that was a balanced discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the answer is no. We're not doing that today, Steven. What we are talking about is I made the mushrooms we've been talking about for a good 2 weeks now, hyping up king oyster mushrooms. I didn't actually make them. I mean, I got them and I planned it, but Aaron certainly did the dirty work of getting the propane, firing up the grill, first time using the grill plate thing in the Uni pizza oven. And I posted a picture on Plant Based Morning Show Instagram account, so go see it there if you want. They definitely had a phallic appearance to them when they were finished. And the texture was sort of, I don't know, hot dog-like.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the taste was very good. They were meaty, chewy. Yeah, they were even maybe more rubbery than meat. Like as you went further down the stalk, I guess. Okay. Once you got up near the cap, it was like really good, tender, enjoyable thing. I don't know. They were really good. It was good to try something new. Always like that. Made me want to do the scallops thing where you cut the stem into scallops. That would be a pretty appropriate texture for that. I did learn as I was Googling some stuff about king oyster mushrooms that regular oyster mushrooms are actually carnivorous. They emit a toxin that these things called nematodes, little worms, I guess it kills them, and then the mushroom absorbs it somehow. So they eat, and the worms have like actual meat, muscle. Like they're not just insects that are different. Actually, I don't even know if insects have muscle, but these do. I mean, this is meat. So it is a vegan food that itself is not vegan, which is interesting.
Wow, that is very interesting.
Yeah,
who knew? Not I. Well, good. Well, I saw the pictures. They did absolutely look delicious. I'm glad you went ahead and did it. One of us is actually doing what we're saying we're doing, and I appreciate that. I also saw some other pictures of some meatball subs or some bean ball subs, and
with homemade rolls.
With homemade rolls, that looked absolutely delicious. So
it was.
I think, and I need to come over sometime.
Yeah, anytime you want. Open invitation. Show up.
Somebody asked, let's see, Bianca asked, what about cooking in that pizza oven?
Yeah, I mean, it's the obvious concern about why would it not be I mean, it can get to however high temperature you want it to be, 800, 700 something. So it was extremely high. Aaron preheated it all, put the grill pan in. I think he even preheated the grill pan, which is like an extra attachment. You have to buy the grill pan thing. has handles that attach to it because you can't pull that out easily, obviously, because it's really hot. And then she actually turned the grill, I think, the oven all the way down for the actual grilling process once it was so hot in there. And the thing, I guess, like, so you can't flip stuff in there. That's why it's different from a grill, because it's not open top. So you have to pull the pan out in order to do flips. So they give you this little like wooden board thing that the thing's meant to sit on. So if you had a nice little table set up nearby, you just would do it there. So slight inconvenience for sure. To me, well worth not having a large grill if you can just get by with one good pizza oven.
Yeah, because right, exactly, and the diversity of things you can cook in there. Although grilled pizza is pretty good as well.
Yeah, so one could even grill on the grill pan, grilled pizza, if you wanted to do that style of pizza, California style, I call that. Okay, Doug has Aaron invited you over. You saw that, so there you go. Now both of us have. Steven says you sound a bit quiet. I haven't noticed that, but it's possible. I'll take quiet over loud though. Loud is never good.
Do you listen to me through Instagram, or do you listen to me through?
I listen only through Instagram. I didn't even consider listening through Restream, but that's the fine idea.
Okay.
Right. So what else? Anything else, Doug, before we jump into what we've got planned for this Friday?
No, I don't think so. Let's just run with it.
All right. Here we go. This is your weather report. This year, the global fast food market is predicted to be worth nearly $19 billion, according to Veg News, who are citing a survey from Future Market Insights, FMI. By 2033, it's expected to grow to nearly $28 billion. That's a 50% increase by my math, Doug. This growth is likely due to increased knowledge about the benefits of a vegan diet. I don't know what else it would be due to, because I don't think it's going to be due to the taste of these foods being so much better than the others. From Plant-Based News, brands including Aussie, I guess it's Aussie, Herbal Essences, and Dove can now be certified as cruelty-free after a breakthrough change to testing laws in China. Previously, any things that were sold in China had to be tested on animals. That was a Chinese law. They have changed that recently. So now a bunch of brands that weren't otherwise testing on animals are cruelty-free. Herbal Essences, Dove, Wet n Wild, Physicians Formula, First Aid Beauty, Supergoop, Rituals, Aussie, Simple Suave are a few of them. These brands were still willing to be tested on animals in order to be sold in China, I guess. So there's that, but now they don't have to be. So there's also that. Doug, you seem like a man who appreciates a good hair care product. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say you're pretty serious about that hair of yours.
I do. And you know what else I've been doing is beard oil that I got for Christmas, and I never used to do that, and it's really changing my beard.
You know what? I will not do the beard oil. This is a masculinity thing. I feel like as soon as you start caring for a beard and pampering it and all that, then it's like not a beard anymore. You're not like a man with a beard. You're like you're just trying to you're a fancy kind of guy.
Hard disagree.
Yeah, well, obviously, since you use it.
Yeah, I mean, a good-looking beard needs to be well kept, and I don't know that your beards have always been rather short, right? Mm-hmm. Rather tight, and so you don't have to worry about it. But as soon as you start growing it out, it can get very unruly, and it just looks ridiculous. It looks childish, and so I think that the well-kept beard that is groomed properly and then also cared for. This is new to me. I've only been doing it since Christmas here, any regular beard oil, but it's really, it's making it look so much nicer. Okay. Might not be able to tell an Instagram video, but trust me when I say in person, I look like I deserve the beard more than I used to.
Okay. I think the appeal of a beard though is I'm just letting nature do its thing. I'm not gonna step in and shave every day. I'm just gonna be natural. So as soon as you start doing oil, you're kind of trying to look like you don't try, basically, and that's a little too much for me.
Oh no, I think it's the opposite. I want a beard that looks like I try.
Okay, well that's fair. That is totally fair enough. Someone is requesting to join and then retracting it. I don't know who it was. I didn't get to see it in time, but if you do want to join us, actually, you know what? Maybe not today. I've got to get on the road pretty soon after this, and it's a nightmare to edit when people join us the podcast. So I'll take a rain check on that one. But I do appreciate it, whoever it was. And on Tuesday when we're back, please do it. Okay.
One more beard comment.
Okay.
It smells incredible, and that was suddenly. I've never been like a cologne guy or anything, and I don't even wear deodorant, so I've never been like a deodorant guy who has a scent. But now I have my beard oil smells. It smells like redwood trees, and it just smells very.
Okay, good.
I don't know.
I'm gonna clip out. Happy. I'm gonna clip out the part that says you've never been a deodorant guy. Put that in your highlights list.
I used to be a deodorant guy, but I haven't been.
You know what? I don't want to not ever, but I'm not interested in cologne and things like that. But if you get a subtle smell due to your grooming products, I think that's a good thing. So yeah. I can appreciate that one. All right. Interrupting the weather report here. Jody Shuck says females disagree. An oiled beard is a soft beard. Bianca Phillips says exactly. Jody Shuck. I don't think my beard's not soft. I don't really have if I had a big beard though, I think maybe then it wouldn't be. So, okay. What do I know? I should stay out of this. All right. Moving on. A court in Switzerland has ruled that meaty product terms and labels used by plant-based food manufacturers are not deceptive to consumers. This has been the precedent that seems to be set that these things are not deceptive because there is little confusion. If you look at the studies, people do not tend to be confused when vegan products are named like animal products. In this case, Planted Foods had been told to stop using terms like chicken and pork on their stuff. The Zurich Cantonal Laboratory, I guess, started this sort of court case about it, but they did not win. Planted Foods won. They could be, and because their use of vegan and vegetarian specify that the products are not of animal origin, and that chicken is actually like that kind of term is being used to indicate the use of the item, which is an interesting interpretation. Stephen will appreciate this one. Dutch company 1/3, this is from Veg News, developed a tool that allows shoppers to scan avocados right there in the grocery store. You just run your avocado under the scanner rather than having to depress it with your thumb, which is the trick that I use. That, of course, only hastens the over ripening that happens so notoriously with avocados. So, huge unitasker, but apparently it's a spinoff from Halma PLC, where a similar technology was used for medical applications. And in the Veg News article, they show a picture of like a strawberry under this thing. It's AI powered, which optical scanner. I don't know. Like, I don't understand what artificial intelligence is doing. I guess pattern recognition.
It just seems like everybody's just buzzing with that.
Right. It seems like a marketing term now. But I guess if it's pattern recognition, that is artificial intelligence. So perhaps it's considered that. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's drawing pictures for me or writing my essays or anything like that. So I don't know about AI, but
I am a huge fan of this idea. I didn't read the weather report because I wanted to be surprised like everyone else. I think this is amazing. If I had something that told me the shelf life of an avocado and when I could expect it to be ripe, or if it was currently ripe or overripe, oh man, that would save me so much money. It'd save me so much time. I would go to a store. I would go travel further to a store just for this by the amount of avocados we buy.
And it seems that the big beneficiary is actually the stores, at least the way the article's written, that the stores and the avocado manufacturers won't create so much food waste from these avocados that don't. But I guess, on the consumer end too, certainly tons are wasted. And if you could know ahead of time, you could plan for when you're going to use your avocados, because it is always a guessing game. So kind of interesting. Fun little thing. Yeah. I'm glad they wrote about that. All right, I got to move this along. I'm going to put the music on just to motivate myself. Food tech startup Aquacultured Foods announces it's begun building out a new facility in Chicago that will allow it to begin scaling production of whole-cut plant-based seafood. I don't know if we've gone on record and said that plant-based seafood is a trend for 2023, but I absolutely think it is. The space is food grade, minimal upgrades required, and they're creating ultra-realistic calamari, shrimp, scallops, and tuna and whitefish fillets with mycoprotein fermentation. So one of these new ones. I haven't ever tasted fermented mycoprotein or fermented meats, plant meats. I've only tried the fermented dairy, animal-free dairy. So I'm interested to know how this works out with meats. But apparently, if you look at the pictures, this looks just like sushi and calamari and all this other stuff. So I'd be really excited to try this. And finally, almost finally, Mr. Charlie's. I've seen them a little bit. They look like McDonald's. They apparently were a viral sensation in 2022 when they started spoofing McDonald's iconic logos. They made the frowny meal, the not a hamburger, and not chicken nuggets. It's like a red box with a yellow smile on it. It looks just like McDonald's branding. They are expanding now opening a second location in San Francisco. And then later they're going to open locations in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore as early as Q1 of this year. And apparently the one in San Francisco they are opening up is just across the street from an actual McDonald's. So that's kind of cool that like no one had heard of this place. Maybe locals had until last year. And suddenly it's international and it's all over. And it's people call it vegan McDonald's. So that's kind of a big deal. I'd be pretty curious to try out a Mr. Charlie's, but I just love that it's like a total spoof of it. I mean, it's a hit back at McDonald's, which I think is kind of cool. And finally, I've been reporting on the Amazon bestseller list, bestsellers in vegan cooking. But you know what? The vegan cooking is basically the same as the vegetarian and vegan category, Doug. So I'm expanding to that, which on your recommendation. But in both of those categories, there is a new one in the number 4 spot. It has bumped the Korean vegan down to number 5, and therefore bumped Dr. Wilby's The Fiber Fuel Cookbook out of the top 5.
Ooh, big news.
This newcomer is Healthy Girl Kitchen by Danielle Brown. 100+ plant-based recipes to live your healthiest life. I don't think I know of her, but it sure sounds like a familiar name, so I'm guessing I have seen her blog or Instagram or whatever. But this book is not out yet. It's released May 16th of this year by Alpha, and it's currently $409 among all books on Amazon, which is not easy to get there.
Wow, and it's not even out yet, so she must have a good little marketing team there, or she must be a decent marketer herself.
She's probably a solid influencer with a good audience base, maybe her first book, and when we would announce No Meat Athlete books coming out soon, we wouldn't usually get to top 400 that early. Maybe the week before it's coming out, you can start to get into those, or even the double digits. But that's gonna be a big one if it's that high that early. So good for her. Looking forward to seeing that one. Check it out, Healthy Girl Kitchen. All right, that is my weather report.
I like it, Matt.
Yes.
I appreciate the music a lot. I think that was a good addition.
Okay.
I did notice you didn't use the intro that I recorded for you yesterday.
You know what? I forgot. I realized it last night that I forgot to even listen to it.
You didn't even listen to it.
I didn't listen to it yet. I will. I'll listen to it and I will check it out.
Okay. Well, I think I might want to redo it with some of that music that is a little bit more like newsy. I was using Thunderstorms.
What if I just play it right now? Can I play it right now, Doug? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Whoops. Sorry for the echo. All right, be quiet for 1 second.
That's funny.
Okay, is that so that's not a joke, that's the real thing.
Well, it's meant to be a joke. I'm echoing still. I don't know if you...
Yeah, I'm sorry, I fixed it.
I mean, it's meant to be a joke. It sounds way worse than I remember it yesterday. So I'm kind of glad you...
Well, you even wrote in the blurb about it, you said, these sounded better in my head. So even after doing it, you didn't really like it. Hey, I don't think it's that bad. I think that with a little music behind it could be pretty good.
All right. Well, let's get to work for that for next week.
Yeah. Okay. And that music, I'm not set on that music. It's called Euro News, and somehow it worked. But yeah, I need some kind of music for that thing. Keep it fast paced and moving. I like it. It's pretty good voice.
Your expression, you were very confused.
It's interesting.
Unexpected, I guess. All right.
All right. Getting to our show content. Now that we're 27 minutes into the show, most popular diets in America. This is, obviously arguable what is truly the most popular diets in America. Lots of ways to figure that out. But this is from Veg Economist. I usually trust what Veg Economist says. They're very good in their way they research and things. They're just here citing a research by Chef's Pencil. I've never heard of Chef's Pencil. Sounds like some sort of food organization, research organization. The vegan diet, I don't know what their scale is based on.
Hold on. Before you get into this. So the scale is, the source is Google Trends, showing Google relative search popularity for diet-related searches in the United States in 2022. So This is not looking at how many people are actually following the diet. It's just interest in the diet. It seems to be.
That's a good point. It's only about interest. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. They don't say how they made the scores, but it kind of looks like they're on a scale from 0 to 100. I don't really know. Vegan diet is number 1 with 79 popularity score. Passing keto. It sounds to me like keto was previously the king here, or the queen, and vegan diet has dethroned it. Keto is 67 now. Then huge drop off down to Weight Watchers at 14. Vegetarian diet 12. Intermittent fasting 10. Golo. I don't know what Golo is. Do you, Doug?
Nope.
Something about only live once, I bet. 9 points. Paleo 6. Mediterranean diet only 5, but I think it's a newcomer to the list, perhaps. Whole30, which I thought would have been more popular. Maybe it's fading. 3 points. And Optavia sounds like a probiotic yogurt or something to me. That's number 3. That's also a 3-pointer. Sorry. So I don't know. I mean, kind of surprising to me that vegan, and they're not talking about. I don't know where plant-based fits in here. No explanation of how they if they just lump that in. I would kind of think you have to, because I think plant-based. I don't think vegan diet is replacing keto the way most people talk about it. I think plant-based is probably more popular than keto, but I don't really know. So I think that's kind of interesting. They said a little bit more insight here was that the veganism is popular in coastal states, and keto diets still lead in many inland areas. So not really surprising when you think about the political landscape, relative to the geography. Most vegan-friendly states, just like a side effect or side note here, Oregon, Hawaii, New York, New Jersey, and California. If they're just using Google Trends, I don't think we can really say these are vegan-friendly states as much as percentage of vegans searching for those terms, or percentage of people searching for the terms.
Right.
Maybe vote most vegan interested states. So I don't know. Got interesting stats. Always good to win out over keto. Honestly, I don't. This isn't bad. I mean, I don't like the stuff that's like direct weight loss. But I also don't really have a good, strong reason to. I just tend to think that something where like the promise is weight loss. It could be unhealthy and it could still be there. So I don't know anything about Weight Watchers methods. I don't have any reason to believe it's unhealthy. I just assume that if the only goal is weight loss, or if that's the primary thing that sells it, then I'm going to be suspicious of whether it's long-term healthy. But vegan diet, keto, paleo, which, if people are doing paleo the correct way, kind of as close to a pure way, and it doesn't turn into just like a bacon fest, they're eating a whole lot more plants than a typical standard American dieter is. Probably more than a Weight Watchers diet.
More whole foods, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually encouraged to see that. Mediterranean diet, of course, I love that kind of idea. I don't know that much about Whole30, believe it or not. I think it's I think it's whole foods and largely vegan, I would imagine, but maybe not all.
It's definitely not all vegan. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about Weight Watchers really either, except that I think that was what started the whole weighing your food trend.
Oh, really? I thought Weight Watchers was points, and every food is a point. Maybe a certain weight of the food is a point.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. I did look up Golo, and someone else mentioned it here. Dale Stevens mentioned it. It appears to be a Weight Watcher, or I'm sorry, a weight loss app and program similar to Weight Watchers would be my guess.
Okay, good. Yeah, so not much more to say there. It's just encouraging, I think. Like to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Justin David Carl, Dragon says happy Flex Friday, guys. I'm not going to do any flexing today, but mental flex.
It's too bad I have long sleeves on. You can't see my guns here. But...
Yeah. I'm not a flex guy. We are not the same, Justin David Carl. I can't get on the internet and flex shirtless and do all that. I'm just, I don't know. I have a great appreciation for those who do, because I think it's a good thing. I love the vegan movement has them. I'm just too self-conscious to do it. Yeah, I'm not ripped. I'm not ripped like the Dragon.
Yeah, you just got to get ripped, and then you want to do
Maybe
it.
Maybe then I wouldn't be self-conscious. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the problem. All right. Moving on. We've got... Okay, Veg News is telling us, want a good workout recovery food? Try almonds, new study says. A new study found that eating almonds increases the level of a particular exercise recovery molecule by 69%. This is published in the medical journal Frontiers in Nutrition. They basically had men and women eat 57 grams of almonds daily for 1 month. I don't know how many almonds that is. Based on my coffee weight, I'm going to guess that's about 20 almonds or so. That's my
okay.
If they did that, they had more in their blood a month later, if they ate them every day, of a beneficial fat called 12-13 dihydroxy 9Z ocadecanoic acid. Long name. in their blood immediately after a session of intense exercise than did the control group. So this is thought to be beneficial for metabolic health and energy regulation. And that's kind of where the interesting part of the study ends, right? Like there's no did they actually recover from their exercise better as a result of these almonds, right? Again, just sort of the theme that I think is important. And I know we can't always do this stuff, but the zooming out and like, let's look at the actual outcome downstream further, that rather than saying, let's improve some part of the process. So we don't know if they actually recovered better or not. It's just that this molecule is associated with better recovery. And the other kind of misleading part here, Doug, I don't know if you probably had the same response I did because we have a similar background with sports. When I hear good workout recovery food, I'm thinking this is what I need to now eat immediately after my workout.
Right.
That's a recovery food.
I did know.
Drink.
Yeah.
Right. So little misleading there. I don't know if the author meant to do that or just,
missed it.
Who knows? Yeah. So it's like they're good for recovery if you eat them all the time consistently, but it's not a post-workout recovery food.
Right.
Because there's no sugar or carbohydrate, and generally you need to put that back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the whole chocolate milk craze around drinking that right after you work out because of the balance of fat and carbs. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, it's just one of those things. Maybe I should just pop a handful of almonds when I'm in training. Can't hurt. Throughout the day.
Yeah, throughout the day. Not while although I remember Stu Middleman, the old ultra runner, like the super ultra distance runner, whatever that's called. What's it called when people run multi-day stuff? Mm-hmm. Doesn't it have some kind of name that's like, I don't know. Anyway, he was a big almond eater. He was big on like the burning fat for fuel and not eating a lot of sugar.
I always think of, anytime I hear almonds, I always think of Barack Obama.
Really? What does he do with almonds?
Because every night, I guess like at 9:30 or something, he would have 6 almonds.
Okay, like Tim Ferriss, he probably read The 4 Hour Body and tried to sleep better.
Maybe so. I don't know why I did it, but I remember hearing that, and it's stuck with me ever since.
Okay. So. I mean, nuts are a great health food and longevity food, and it's not that easy for me to incorporate them into your diet, because if you start salting them up a lot, or getting the Blue Diamond brand that has all these different pickle flavors and everything else, you're kind of surely losing out on some of the benefits, maybe all the benefits. I don't know. Maybe it's a net even then. And you really want it to be not cooked, which in the U.S. is a problem because they all get pasteurized due to laws. But like once you cook them or heat them, you destroy some of these good fats. So like it's not that easy just to eat nuts in their pure, like unadulterated state. They're just not that good. So I get some lightly salted almonds. I usually snack on those probably once per day. Walnuts in the smoothie, flax seeds in the smoothie. I have a little bit, but it's never like that easy. Sometimes with wine, I'll have a little happy hour, but again, then you get a net wash perhaps on the health.
I only drink my wine so that I can eat my almonds.
So I don't know. Almonds are good. Blue Diamond lightly salted almonds. That's my that brand has gotten me eating the most almonds I've had before because it's just the right amount of salt. It still feels like a health food, but it's still good. You mentioned the chocolate milk craze, Doug. I'm sure people are dying to know, given you're an ultra marathon 24-hour distance champion. Let's remind people of that.
That's right.
The what's it called? Black Mountain Monster.
Black Mountain Monster.
Yeah. Won. In must have been 2016, maybe 15.
Yeah, one of those. Not sure. Around that time.
It was 15 because I was in a different house in 2016. Yeah. So anyway, what do you think about this chocolate milk recovery idea?
I mean, obviously, as a vegan, I'm not going to drink chocolate milk.
Right. But what about what if we could replicate the same macronutrient mix in plant-based form, which of course we can?
I don't hate it. I don't feel super strongly about it either way. But I don't hate the idea of an easy way to get a good macronutrient, or macronutrient appropriate for recovery drink. I have no problem with that. And then you eat meals or whatever afterwards. I think that we spend way too much energy focused on that, those ratios of like pre-workout, mid-workout, post-workout.
Yeah.
And that, really, as long as you're kind of eating a little bit more carbs than you are fat, I think that it's, you're probably going to be fine. And, that 3-to-1 is probably, instead of 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, if you just somewhere around that 3-to-1 carbs to protein ratio, then you're going to be totally fine. So, I think we spend way too much energy focused on that. But I don't hate the idea of a post-recovery drink and something as simple and inexpensive as chocolate milk or chocolate almond milk or something like that. I don't even know if that has the right ratio, so I'm not promoting that.
I was thinking about that. It probably doesn't have enough protein in it because dairy milk has much more protein and fat. I don't know what kind of chocolate milk was suggested for it as far as fat went. That was a good meme because it bypassed the conversation of how much carbohydrate to protein and just let someone say, well, I'll just drink chocolate milk. And I know that's right because someone told me it is. And it, like you said, with the macronutrient ratio, whatever it is of chocolate milk, it's probably pretty close to the 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ideal or whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
And therefore not a terrible idea, except of course if it's not vegan. And then if you believe the acid alkaline thing, or you believe that dairy is, not a good food, which I think a lot of vegans do believe, and I think it's partly correct. There might be reasons to stay away from it. Like I think a huge thing that most people miss with recovery is they don't eat enough leafy greens and the foods that really pack in the antioxidants and the anti-inflammatory stuff. Uh-huh. And dairy doesn't help with that at all. Dairy makes that worse. So
no.
To me, if you're going to do something like that, you better also make sure you're eating a big, huge salad with it or after it.
Yeah.
Or just make it from a plant-based way. Not way. Make it in a plant-based way. Doing it with plant-based way would not solve the problem, by the way. Doing it in a plant-based manner, making a similar drink, you can get, I think, better benefits. But then you got to pay attention and you got to figure out what that drink is.
But there is something to be said for those first few minutes after you work out. Oftentimes you're really hungry, or at least I am, a long run. If I'm doing a 2.5 hour long run or something like that, I'm going to get home and I'm going to be hungry. Like I'm going to want to eat. And so if there's something that, that's where smoothies come into play for me a lot. I'll oftentimes make a smoothie ahead before I leave and then have it in the fridge for when I get home. A chocolate milk would be the same thing, just as easy, kind of a way to get a bunch of calories and satisfy some of those hungers. And then you follow that up a half an hour later after you've showered and stretched or whatever. And you follow that up with a real meal that has some greens and has some whole foods and things like that. So that's why I don't hate the idea. I just, it's not vegan, so I can't promote it. And honestly, the idea of like heavy dairy right after does not sound good at all.
No,
on an empty stomach. But pre-vegan Doug used to come home from long runs and have throw a frozen pizza in the oven, and then take a shower and come out and devour the entire frozen pizza. I mean, that was my go-to during my first marathon training. That was what I ate after every long run.
Well, it's the best time to do it. If you're going to eat that kind of thing, I think after workout is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of running, there's some brewing news with Erin Fraser that she's. I'm not going to spoil anything yet, or announce anything, or commit her to anything yet. There was some talk this morning at the breakfast table about what might be next. So I'll have that announcement soon. We have a couple of YouTube comments jumped in. Now that we're not on Facebook, we're not getting quite as many restream comments. I really need to go in there and fix Facebook. It probably is 2 clicks that I just got to figure out. But Bailey Zane from YouTube, it's probably a first-time commenter, says a well-kept beard is crucial. Yeah, I'm with you. Well-kept is different from oiled, though, to me.
Disagree.
Okay. And CE says Optavia is pre-packaged junk, a multi-level marketing. And I would not honestly be that surprised by that, right? Those things do get popular. So we're not talking about what's the best thing.
Wait, her name's like
no, Optavia. That was the final one. That was had 3 points on the list of
yeah. Okay.
For diets. Yeah. So you can ignore that one according to CE. And I have a feeling that she's right about that. Okay. Final article for the day, Doug, is revisiting an issue we've talked about a good bit on the show, but most people here probably weren't here in those early days. This is from foodingredientsfirst.com. And the headline is Pro-Veg fighting plant-based censorship as UK government considers restrictions for non-dairy terminology. Pro-Veg, by the way, we have a listener of the show in the early days was from Pro-Veg. And she emailed us on behalf of them, sort of saying, hey, if you ever want, ever want us to come on and contribute or whatever, please. And I didn't take her up on that, but just a little context. Pro-Veg is a real organization. A lot of these, we hear these organizations, like I've never heard of a lot of them, and I just wonder, are they legit things or just I don't know. But I have reason to believe that one is real. Anyway, the story, it's not like big news suddenly happened. But what's going on is just sort of a resurfacing of this issue that we've seen in France. Now we saw it in Sweden. I think it's been somewhere else in the whatever it's called, the weather report this morning. We mentioned this thing about Sweden. And generally they're seeming to go the way of it's okay for plant-based products to call their things steak or sausage or whatever, as long as it's clearly marked on there that it is plant-based or vegan or vegetarian. And when it is, there are some consumer studies, research showing that people tend not to be confused by these names, by these milks or butters or whatever, as long as it's kind of said. And really, like, I don't think the companies making these things, although they want mainstream adoption, I think they're still largely making them for vegans to buy, or people who are seeking out the plant-based thing. They're not really trying to trick people. And I think that's why these things almost universally seem to come out on the side of those companies. They really are trying to communicate it. They just want to communicate, as we saw in the Sweden thing, how it is used. And it is used like chicken or used like milk. That's sort of what how they're interpreting it. But anyway, in the UK, this is resurfacing. It happened again in 2021. It was defeated. But now there are concerns growing that the UK government officials could tighten up labeling rules, effectively banning dairy-like terms such as milk and butter. The Department of Environmental, Food and Rural Affairs says that, Trading Standards, the local authority, is leading this charge. And then someone responded, I don't know who it was, maybe it was ProVeg, wrote back a big letter saying this is outrageous and unnecessary. I think it's unnecessary. I don't know if I think it's outrageous. I fully understand why they're trying to do this and what grounds they're basing it on, that it's, their stuff is dairy, and you can't say I'm making dairy, or that's their claim, right? It's I don't know. I understand where they're coming from, but to me, if it's not confusing consumers and the data is showing that it's not, then I don't see. But anyway, the headline here, and this is more for our U.S. centric audience, I think, with the exception of some for sure, notably Stephen, our European correspondent. Here's one that we may be the ones breaking this. Well, I mean, Food Ingredients broke it, but we're the ones talking to a vegan audience. The U.S. FDA is currently sitting on guidance. This is a quote from somebody. The U.S. FDA is currently sitting on guidance, which we believe will effectively ban the term milk when it is published, possibly in the next few weeks. This is happening because the international meat and dairy industry is failing to see the transition to plant-based food as a huge opportunity it really is, and as a necessity to address climate change. So I will be on the lookout for that news saying that the U.S. FDA has banned the term milk. I mean, no specifics here as to whether like the term almond milk, which I think now has to be one word. Am I right about that?
Ooh, I don't know. Is that true?
Well, you often see it as one word written on plant-based products. Trying to confirm right now with so Blue Diamond, for example, who we mentioned before with the flavored pickle almonds, on their website, at least, they call it almond milk, one word. I don't know if they have to, or if that's just to avoid potential issues. But I wonder if even that will be problematic once the FDA says this. I don't know. We'll see. I know Miyoko's butter, they won some sort of case. I don't know who against, some sort of government thing, I think. Or maybe it was against the Dairy Council, to be able to call their thing butter, their product butter. So I would think that would have some trouble too. So I don't know what has changed and why, when what we've seen so far, like I said, is typically these things are going the way of the plant-based companies. What is suddenly different? But you have to imagine lobbying and money and all that is playing a part.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm looking at almond milk. Multiple companies is using as one word, and oat milk is doing oat dash milk instead of. So it's two words, but they're hyphenated together. Oh no, here's one that's oat milk, one word. So I bet you're right. I bet that either people are preemptively trying to protect themselves. Same with soy milk. Wow, I've never once noticed that. How interesting.
Yeah, which it kind of gets to the point. Well, actually, that sort of makes the point that combining doesn't really make it any better, right? Because you've never even noticed they were combined. So you were effectively viewing it as if they were two words.
Right.
The Whole Health Experience, Aisha says Costco and Trader Joe's already use beverage, and I've definitely seen beverage before, plant beverage or oat milk beverage, perhaps they might say. So a lot of tiptoeing around here.
Yeah, the problem with oat beverage or soy beverage or whatever, I mean, like that could be anything, right? I mean, that could
Right.
be because I mean,
Yeah, milk is a use of it,
oat
right?
milk implies that it's kind of a white, creamy substance that you could use to froth or put in your cereal or whatever. Whereas
Yeah.
like a soy beverage could be like a soy water, like or I don't know,
Right.
something very
Right.
different.
Yeah.
Um,
You're making the point that the Sweden case decided that, right? When they say the word chicken, they're implying this is. I mean, they're not saying this is chicken. They're saying this is used like chicken. It's a plant-based product that is used like chicken.
yeah,
So you're saying when they say this is oat milk or almond milk, they're implying that it's going to have similar uses to milk, and
right.
that doesn't seem like a problem to me.
No,
I don't know
definitely
anything
not.
about this. I don't have a legal background by any means. But to me, saying plant-based oat product designed to be used like milk, I can't imagine that's illegal. So then it's just a matter of condensing some words and figuring out what is okay.
Hmm.
Uh, Q Burgess is back. Says yes, I have soy milk and almond milk in my fridge right now, and that's how it's presented. One word. Whole Health Experience says beverage makes you think it has other ingredients. That's also a good point. It does make you think that. At least for me, that there is that connotation that it also has more than just the main product. Yeah, I don't know. When we had Robbie on from Plant Based News, they said that. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Geez, completely blanked. Robbie said
that. I believe Robbie said that it was important to kind of have something that people understood, right? That's what I remember.
Oh, that the word milk, like that the definition of milk wasn't this product that comes from an animal or a human, but rather a substance that was like we use the word milk in different contexts now. That not talking about almond milk or oat milk, but just like we say something is a milky substance or the milk of a certain tree or whatever. And I guess we're perhaps drawing a comparison, but they were arguing that that's the word. So
yeah,
I don't know. So
I mean, I did also just Google the definition of milk, and it's clear that it comes from a mother. Yeah. So I mean, but like soy milk, almond milk, one word. Like several of us here in the comments say we've never even noticed it before. Like that didn't bother me, but having milk as part of it does make a clear signal as to what the beverage should be used for, which I like.
Yeah. Two interesting comments here. Whole Health Experience says like cranberry juice has to be 100%, and if you call it cranberry beverage, then it has apple juice. That's a really interesting point. I always thought it was called like cranberry juice cocktail or something if they want to put other stuff in, but I think this is probably similar. And then Bianca says, right, because where does that leave canned coconut milk? That's interesting because that doesn't have the same use. They're not trying to say that is used like milk. That's just in sort of Robbie's point. It's like the milk of the coconut. It's like the the substance that comes from a coconut that is thick and milky. So
they are two words. I'm looking at coconut milk, and it is definitely two words in all the cans.
And it makes sense because I think that term's been around forever, right? That's just what that is. It's not trying to say this is like milk, but it's from a coconut.
Yeah, I got some beef with coconut milk, because you can get like non-canned coconut milk that is more consistent to an almond milk, right?
Yeah, right.
But then you also have the canned coconut milk, which is like super fatty and creamy. And
yeah, they're entirely different things.
They're two entirely different things, but they're both called coconut milk.
I have thought about this before, and it has been the source of confusion to me. I've just thought it must be the source of immense confusion to people who, are much less familiar with plant-based ingredients and cooking than I am. If you Google a recipe and it says coconut milk, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe a normal person who's not like immersed in the vegan world, maybe their first thought is just canned coconut milk, and usually that's what they mean in a recipe.
Right.
So maybe there's not as much confusion as I have because I'm in this world. But I do always think it's weird. But often they'll say canned coconut milk when they want that, and
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that is a good downward facing dog, because it must be super confusing for people. Because you can go to oftentimes canned coconut milk, I guess, is in like the international aisle. But if you go to the boxed milk section that's not refrigerated, right? They have coconut milk in a box, and it just, I can imagine people buy that all the time thinking they're buying the right thing and not.
Totally. Doug's got beef. Down facing Doug.
All right. Anything else?
I have nothing else today.
All right, then I think it's time for Matt's sleep guess.
We're not gonna do this segment every day, are we? And this.
We're definitely out of 10. At least for until people tire of it. Out of 10, let's guess how Matt slept last night.
Let me give you a little context, just to confuse. My lettuce extract capsules did arrive last night, and I had those. Had 2 of those instead of making a lettuce tea from a whole head of iceberg lettuce or romaine lettuce. So, by the way, if you're ever using this trick, I read that iceberg does not contain whatever the compound is that you need, lactutin or something. So you need to use romaine or something like it.
Okay.
All right. So there's that bit of confusion. That wild card is in there.
I got my guess here. We got some 8 out of 10s from Whole Health Experience from Steven.
Consistent.
And that's actually my guess too. Was 8 out of 10.
It's Friday though. Are you accounting for that? And then it's automatically going to speed things up
because it's Friday. Plant Power Pantry says 7 out of 10.
This is so funny to me. It's funny to me because I always enjoy, and like for the podcast, I mean, I've talked for a cumulative total probably several hours about my sleep on the podcast and this. It just comes up, and I'm always at the end like, why did I talk so much about sleep? Like, it's not that interesting to anyone but me. It can't be. And so the fact that like we're doing this now on a daily basis is I enjoy it because I like it, but I can't imagine it's that interesting. All right, we got a bunch of 8s, a couple 7s, a 6. Oh man, I want to say 7.5 because 8 seems like a really good sleep, and it just wasn't that good. It was too short. Again, it was like midnight to 6. I woke up at 6 and I couldn't go back to sleep. But it was 6 good hours. I woke up once in the night and I, again, went right back to sleep, which is not normal. And I think it's due to staying up later. I usually, if I wake up, I'm just up. Yeah. So I'm happy about it. So I'm going to go up to the 8. I'm going to bump it up to 8 for the,
all right.
To pick a number. Congratulations, Steven. You've hit it on the head twice in a row.
I
should make the announcement. I should write it down ahead of time before I see people's guesses, though. I think that's
a good call. Yeah, you don't want to be influenced by.
And I'm definitely being influenced. I'm sure of it.
Okay. All right. Then we're gonna have to do that for at least a couple more times here because I'm having fun with it. I did want to address a question that Bianca asked a while ago about what I do for deodorant. Do you wear deodorant, Matt?
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't. I mean, it would smell terrible if I didn't.
Okay. She asked if I rubbed crystals, which I don't know if that's a joke or if that's a thing that people do. But I thought that was hilarious. So I switched to like a natural deodorant for a while. One of the ones that came up on Facebook ads
Native?
And stuff. Native, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ran out of Native, and I just was like, I wonder what would happen if I just stopped wearing it. Would anyone notice? And no one noticed for months. And then until I said something to Katie about it, and she was like,
running?
Yeah. I mean, like if I come back super sweaty, I'm gonna smell. Right. But that's not just my armpits. My whole body smells.
Right.
And so I just quit. I just quit wearing it, and no one has ever said anything about it. Some people are nice, I'm sure, but I really don't think that it's become a problem. And I think here's my hypothesis. I think that all the deodorant and antiperspirant and stuff has changed the way we sweat down there. And so if you gradually get off of it, then you quit sweating as much. Quit stinking as much. That's my hypothesis.
You think deodorant has changed your body so your body stopped sweating because it realized it was pointless?
I mean, maybe. I mean, there's no science behind this that I know of. It's just my hypothesis. But I really think that I stink and sweat less under my armpits than I used to.
Okay, so you're not willing to say it's your vegan diet that makes you not.
I mean, maybe I should just come out and say that. That's probably what it is. Maybe it's the corn chips.
Okay.
No, yeah, Bianca said the same thing. Maybe I read that.
I think your theory is half-baked and wacky, this idea that it somehow changed your body. I actually think the thing about the vegan thing, it's one of those things where like it just anecdotally you hear tons of people saying that whatever warts stopped happening or dry skin cleared up or they don't smell anymore. I hear those things all the time, and they're not. There's no science, at least behind most of them. But I hear so many of them. I just have to believe them. So I don't know. I've experienced the same. I certainly will smell bad if I don't wear deodorant for a couple days, or even 24 hours. It'll start to be bad. But compared to before, when I ate differently, it was different, or it's much less. And I don't. That's not at all far fetched to me. And neither are the other things. Neither are the dry skin or other things. Right? If you eat more healthy foods, I don't know if it's the removal of meat as much as like you put in a bunch of fresh, good foods. Your body's going to typically do what it's supposed to do. I don't think we're supposed to smell foul. I don't think that's a natural, thing that would repel people. So I don't know. I think it has to do with diet. But good for you. I use the Native, except it's expensive. I don't like spending money on stuff. I really don't. So I don't like spending whatever that is, $8 or $10. Now they got acquired. Now it's in Target, so it's a little cheaper than it used to be. But I get the Arm & Hammer, natural stuff, which I have never really. I kind of like don't want to know what's in there that is probably not as natural as they make it seem. But it's always worked pretty well, way better than like the old Tom's, whatever that stuff was, which didn't really work. So that's what I do. Good for you. I'm surprised. That's I didn't know there were many people who make that work, not wearing deodorant.
Yeah,
But you were one of them.
That's probably going on 2 years.
Good for you.
So I'm just quick Google searches here, unverified, unfact checked. The first one that comes up says that you'll significantly increase your odor causing bacteria. So that's not been the case for me. But the other one says that antiperspirant, if you quit using antiperspirant, your body's natural microbiome will adjust itself, and over time you'll quit smelling. Which antiperspirant is different than deodorant.
Okay, so you're saying once you stop, your body adjusts.
Yeah.
And sort of does the same thing. It's not like the deodorant trained you to not sweat anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Is that your body regulates itself in a way that
Okay, I can believe that. So like if you stop taking salt during your runs, your body can sort of learn how to regulate its hydration, and maybe some of that salt is unnecessary if you're not flooding it with water. So if we're not flooding the body with this deodorizing mechanism, maybe the body on its own could sort of regulate. That's a little different from, over time your body learns not to sweat because you wore deodorant for enough years that you trained it not
it's the
to.
same thing. It
No,
just
I don't
well, that's what I meant. That's what
Okay.
I meant. But all right,
who knows?
this is totally unverified. No, I'm not going to claim to do anything. That's just been my experience, and yeah, I think I smell pretty fresh.
Good. I'd say it's a mystery best left unsolved as to how that works. All right. Steven says, hour-long episode. Is this a record? I don't think it's quite a record. We've done an hour before. We don't really mean to make them this long, but whatever.
We have all these segments now.
Yeah, the weather report's adding. I got to keep that weather report short and tight. Okay.
Lots of comments still coming in, but I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
We appreciate. Yep, we appreciate everybody being here. This has been a fun week, and we will not be here on Monday. It is Martin Luther King Day. We'll be honoring Martin Luther King on Monday by taking the day off, and hopefully doing some volunteering and some good service work. And but we will be back on Tuesday.
That is correct. Back on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Listen to the podcast. Until then, I got up yesterday's episode kind of late, so I apologize for people for that. So go listen to that one if you haven't. Because it was a good one. It was funny. Except for the whole awkward bit. It was still good. Yeah. All right. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. We will talk to you on Tuesday.
All right. See ya.
Goodbye.